So today we're going to be changing the oil on Honda Recon ES, the 2014 model. It's also the TRX 250TE. And if you turn to page 312 in the service manual, you'll say engine oil change on here. First off, you start up by warming up the engine. Okay, so we previously warmed up the engine, so it's not going to be in the video. After that, you start the engine and remove the oil filter cap or dipstick. The oil filter cap or dipstick will be located on the left side of the Recon. And you remove it like so. After removing the dipstick, remove the drain plug bolt and drain plug from engine, and drain the engine oil. The drain plug bolt will be located under the vehicle. I'm going to be using a 17mm socket to get it off. Hang on. I turned it the wrong way. I did. After taking the drain plug off, be sure to remove and replace the washer after every use. After removing the drain plug bolt, you want to take all these plastic pieces off right here to be able to get to the front crankcase on the engine. To remove the plastic on the four-wheeler, you need to use a flat screwdriver or a smaller pry bar. You use it to get these off. You pry this up. Pull on this, push from the back, and it should come out, like so. After removing the plastic clips on the plastic on the four-wheeler, you want to come down here and make sure that you pull these 10mm bolts out right here. That way you can remove this plastic. After you remove the hook leg, pull this plastic piece out. And then after that one, pull this one out as a second piece. After you move the plastic pieces, there's these bolts here connecting these wires. You'll need to remove those bolts in order to get to the front of the crankcase. After you take off the wire pieces, you'll come to this plastic piece right here. It's held on by one Phillips or 10mm bolt, and it's clipped on the other side, right here. Once you get all this outer taken off, you are now able to access the front crankcase cover. After you get the vehicle up on its end, which is the easiest way to do, because inside the crankcase it has a lot of sensitive parts that will fall out if you have it down on the ground. So this is just an easier way of doing it. You want to start off by taking these oil cooler hoses off, like I will demonstrate now. Each of them have a 10mm bolt. After you've taken the bolts out, you just want to pull the hoses out. And be sure that whenever you pull the hoses out, that you plug both of these holes where the hoses go into the crankshaft case.
Okay, so now we're going to take off this angle sensor, and there's two bolts. They are both 10mm, and you're going to unscrew these as I'm fixing to demonstrate. Pause.
After you do that, you want to get the case bolts off. These are 10 millimeter. Also pay attention to where these plates go, because these plates connect most of the plastics and things that were on the outside. After you remove those bolts, you can then pull the case off. Case cover, excuse me. Like so. This here is a centrifugal oil filter. By removing this plate, you want to take these 3 10 millimeter bolts out. This piece here is the oil filter. As you can see, all the sludge and grime is on the outside of the oil filter. Hence the centrifugal force, which the oil comes in through here, and this spins it and throws all the heavier sludge and stuff on the outside. Just to clean the oil filter, you want to take a rag and just wipe all that off and get it nice and clean. Whenever you place the crankcase cover back onto the motor, you want to be sure that the angle sensor has no resistance, or resistance decreases smoothly turning clockwise, and counterclockwise resistance increases smoothly. Removing the Allen bolts from the angle sensor. These are a 4 millimeter Allen head. There's this rod right here. Make sure that this rod lines up with the angle sensor once you replace it onto the motor. After you replace the cover, you want to make sure that you put the bolts back in. Also, be sure to reinstall these plates because they help hold on the outside plastic and covers. After doing that, you also want to be sure that you reconnect the electric wires. After reassembling all the plastic pieces, you want to be sure that you replace the drain plug with a brand new washer before you put the oil back in. The oil that I'm going to be replacing it with is going to be 10W30 4-stroke motorcycle oil. After you put the oil in, you want to start the four-wheeler and make sure that you get it to operating temperature. After that, check the oil again.
And now that we got that checked and our vehicle is running perfectly, that's how you change the oil on a Honda Recon.